What if your breath was not merely an act of survival, but the very rhythm of creation itself? There is an ancient understanding that explains why you feel adrift, despite your tireless efforts to steer your life, and why forcing your thoughts into new shapes is like asking a river to flow uphill. When you grasp what this teaching reveals, you stop breathing simply to exist. You begin to breathe in order to create, and in that moment, all things are transformed. Consider this. Each day, we draw over 20,000 breaths, most without a flicker of awareness. We move through our days like a river in a flood, rushing, clouded with the debris of future tasks and past conversations. And yet, we wonder why the world outside of us mirrors the turbulence we feel within. We attempt to dam the river of our circumstances, not realizing that we must first learn to guide the current of our own being. When a challenge arises, we react. We churn the waters of our own heart, creating the very same chaotic patterns again and again. This happens because we have forgotten a simple truth. In my tradition, we teach that every breath carries a resonance. It is a quiet song that you sing to the world. This is why mere positive affirmations can feel like whispering into a storm. But there is a deeper principle, one of stillness, that changes everything. When you understand that each breath is like dropping a stone into the water of existence, creating ripples that either build the life you seek or disturb its foundation, you can cease fighting the tides. You can begin to shape your reality from its source. I will invite you on a journey into a four-fold path of sacred breathing, a practice that transforms you from a leaf tossed in the wind to the calm, rooted tree from which the leaf fell. I will also share with you a practice known as the silent gateway, a way to find your center in a single, timeless moment, so you become the still point around which reality organizes itself, rather than being swept away by its currents. Every breath taken in unawareness is a forgotten invitation to realign with life's flow. Most of us miss over 20,000 of these invitations every single day. When you entered this world, you did not think yourself into being. You breathed. Your first gesture on this earth was not a concept or a word, but a simple, sacred inhale. Your spirit arrived in this form not through the mind's intricate stories, but through the deep, primal rhythm of breath. In that first moment, you knew a truth you have since been taught to forget. Breath is the bridge, the crossing from the unseen world of pure potential to the seen world of form. But along the path, we learned to breathe from a place of haste and fear. We began to breathe from our thinking instead of our soul. I invite you now to simply notice your breath. From where does it arise? For many, it is a shallow current high in the chest. Quick, a breath that serves the machine but leaves the spirit thirsty. This is the breath of reaction. The ancient ones knew something that our hurried world has let slip. From the word prana in Sanskrit to ruach in Hebrew, wisdom traditions have always recognized the breath as more than air. They saw it as the thread that stitches together the visible and the invisible, the body and the soul, the human and the source. In these lineages, conscious breathing was not just an exercise, it was a doorway. The wise taught that each conscious breath could illuminate the inner chambers of awareness. They discovered that through breath, one could alter not just the inner climate, but the very landscape of outer reality. This was not a metaphor. They understood that when you breathe with intention, you are not just moving air. You are moving energy through the great ocean of being. Reflect on this. Every feeling, every choice, every moment of clear seeing or confusion has its own unique rhythm of breath. In anxiety, the breath is a frantic, shallow wave. In peace, it is a deep, slow tide. Your breath is not merely a reflection of your state, it is the creator of it. The difference between the breath of reaction and the sacred breath is presence. One happens to you, the other moves through you, with you as a conscious partner in the dance between your inner world and the greater field of life. When you begin to breathe with reverence for this simple life-giving act, a quiet magic awakens. You stop being the passive recipient of whatever weather blows through your life. You become the gardener who tends to the soil of your own being, from which all things grow. This is where breath becomes a sacred practice, because every breath taken from that inner place is no longer just keeping you alive. It is keeping you aligned with life itself. What I am about to share can free you from a prison you may not have known you were in. You believe you are your thoughts, but you are in fact their witness. Most of us live our lives as if we are the voice in our head. We awaken, and the river of inner chatter immediately begins to flow. The lists, the worries, the replays of yesterday, and we assume this current is us. But what if you were not the river, but the river bed that holds it? As you are here now, I invite you again to notice your breath. But this time, make no effort to change it. Simply watch it flow, the air cool as it enters, the filling of the lungs, the gentle release. As you do this, something profound is happening. You are becoming the watcher of the breath, not just the breather. Now, as you watch your breath, also notice the mind. It might offer its commentary. This is strange. Am I doing it right? What's next? Here is the moment of liberation. If you can observe the thoughts as they drift by, then you cannot be them. You are the one who is watching. This is the birth of the inner watcher, the part of you that is the deep stillness beneath the moving water. Imagine you are sitting on the bank of a great river. Your thoughts are the water flowing past, sometimes gentle, sometimes a rushing torrent. But you, the true you, are sitting on the bank, watching it all. You are not the river. You are the silent presence that is aware of the river. In my lineage, we use the metaphor of the sky and the clouds. Your thoughts are like the clouds that drift across the vast, open space of your awareness. Some are dark and heavy with the rain of fear or doubt. Others are light and luminous with joy. But notice the sky is never harmed by the weather. It remains open, spacious, unchanged, whether the day is clear or stormy. This watching awareness is your true nature. It is the part of you that has been with you since your first breath and will remain until your last. It is the silent witness to your entire life. Your thinking mind, the storyteller, wants you to believe it is in charge. It spins endless tales about who you are, what you must do, how you are seen. It lives in the memory of the past and the projection of the future. But the watcher lives only here, in the eternal now, where all true power is found. When you begin to identify more with this silent watcher and less with the river of thought, everything shifts. You stop being swept away by every current. You can observe a thought of anger arise, feel its heat, and choose not to be consumed by its fire. This is the beginning of freedom. The breath becomes your anchor, your returning point. Every time you consciously bring your attention back to your breath, you are coming home to who you truly are. You are stepping out of the small boat of your stories and onto the vast, firm ground of awareness. This is not just a spiritual idea. It is the wisdom of existence itself. Ancient traditions understood that a thing observed is a thing transformed. By becoming the calm observer of your inner world, you gain the power to bring that calm into your outer world. Have you ever had a moment where time itself seemed to pause? Perhaps in a moment of crisis, or when held in deep love. Hidden in the stillness between each breath is a silent gateway, a timeless opening where you can realign with your deepest self. But most have never learned to enter it. Those moments when time seemed to slow, they were not illusions. They were glimpses into what is possible when you slip into the space between thoughts, between heartbeats, between breaths. In that quiet pause, you touched the eternal. You found the silent gateway. I invite you to take a breath now. But pay attention not only to the in-flow and the outflow, but to the stillness in between. There is a moment after the inhale when all is full, and another moment at the very end of the exhale when all is empty. These are not empty spaces. They are sacred doorways. The ancient mystics knew this. They taught their students to rest their awareness in these gaps. They called it dwelling in the great silence, the pause where creation dreams itself into being. These were not mere breathing exercises. They were training in how to enter the field of infinite possibility that resides in every moment of stillness. These mystics knew what the wisest among us still know: in the space between one state and another, all things are possible. It is like the silence between the notes of a masterpiece. Without that silence, there is no music, only noise. Your breath composes the same sacred music in your life. In this silent gateway, something shifts. The busy mind, with its endless chatter of shoulds and needs, falls quiet. And in that silence, a clear intention can take root. Not the grasping desire of the ego, but the deep knowing of the soul. It is here that your deepest truths stop being wishes and become seeds planted in the fertile ground of being. Think of this pause as the winter soil. On the surface, nothing is happening. But deep in the dark quiet, the seed is gathering strength. The old sages called this space the eye of the needle, that sacredly small opening through which infinite possibility flows to become manifest reality. Most people rush past this. They breathe quickly, think constantly, always moving on to the next thing. But when you learn to rest in the pause, when you become comfortable in the space between what was and what will be, you discover that this is where true creative power dwells. This isn't about holding your breath or forcing anything. It is about learning to be present with the natural stillness within your own rhythm. And in that presence, you touch the place where your soul's intent meets the infinite possibility of the universe. In the silent gateway, you are not trying to command the field. You are communing with it. But opening this gateway is only a beginning. There is a deeper journey to be taken. For years, your body has been speaking to you in a language you may have learned to ignore. These ignored messages are the untended parts of your inner garden, blocking the path for new growth. This deeper awakening is not found by reaching up for higher thoughts. It is found by traveling down into the sacred landscape of your own body. Just as ancient people built great temples to honor the divine, you too can build an inner sanctuary, not with stone, but with breath and awareness. Think of the great sacred structures of the world, places built for connection. Every detail was intentional, designed to channel a sacred energy. Your body is no different. It is a living temple, but most of us have never learned how to consciously inhabit it. The old wisdom keepers understood this. They saw the body as a living map of consciousness, with energy centers like sacred chambers within a temple. They knew that the breath was the key that unlocked these rooms, revealing not only the divinity within, but also the stories and patterns held in the body's memory. As you begin this practice of inward pilgrimage, you may notice certain areas in the landscape of your body. Your shoulders may feel heavy with the weight of burdens long carried. Your chest may feel like a closed gate, protecting a heart that once learned it was unsafe to be open. Your belly may hold the tangled roots of anxiety. Your throat might feel narrow, constricted with all the words that were never spoken. These are not just physical feelings. They are stories held in the living tissue of your being. They are the emotional soil of your life. The tightness in your chest may be the memory of a winter of grief. The tension in your shoulders, the weight of a mountain that was never yours to climb. But here is the beauty of this practice. The breath does not just illuminate these places, it brings the gentle rain that can soften the hardened soil. Each conscious breath is a tender act of restoration in your inner temple, clearing away old dust, opening shuttered windows, and allowing the life-giving energy to flow once more. Imagine, with each breath, you are descending through the chambers of this inner temple. As you breathe into your chest, you visit the heart's chamber, the place of connection and compassion. As your breath fills your belly, you enter the chamber of power and intuition, where your deepest, quietest knowing lives. With each breath, you are not judging these spaces. You are blessing them, reclaiming them, and honoring them. The architects of old aligned their temples with the stars to draw cosmic energies down to earth. Through conscious breath, you are doing the same with your body. You align your inner world with the gentle, powerful energies of peace, love, and creativity that are always available. This is not about forcing the body to be different. It is about learning to listen to it, to honor its wisdom, and to clear the pathways so that your fullest self can emerge. Once your inner temple is tended to, something remarkable begins to happen to the world around you. We now understand that your breath and heart create an energy field that extends beyond your skin. You are constantly sharing the climate of your inner world with everyone around you. The remarkable thing that happens around you is not poetry. It is the physics of connection. When your inner rhythm is chaotic and hurried, the field around you resonates with that disturbance. But when your breath is deep, coherent, and centered, your field becomes a source of harmony that others can feel, even if they do not know why. Think of your energy field as the surface of a still pond. When you breathe from a place of agitation, it is like thrashing in the water, sending chaotic ripples in all directions. But when you breathe from the calm center you have cultivated, you become like the great mountain reflected perfectly on the water's surface. Still, grounded, a silent invitation to peace. Have you ever walked into a space and felt an immediate sense of calm or tension before a single word was spoken? Have you noticed how some people seem to carry peace with them like a lantern, while others trail clouds of chaos? This is not your imagination. It is the wisdom of the resonant field. We are always communicating our inner state through the rhythm of our breath. Children are masters at sensing this. They have not yet built the walls that block this subtle knowing. When a parent is breathing with stress, a child often becomes unsettled. When that same parent takes a few moments to find their center, to breathe from that deep, quiet place, the child often settles naturally, as if by magic. This influence extends to every part of your life. When you enter a difficult conversation from a place of centered breath, you are not just managing yourself. You are creating a spacious container that can hold whatever arises with more grace. When you arrive at your work from a place of inner stillness, you subtly change the atmosphere, making space for new ideas and smoother collaboration. The beauty of understanding this is that it reminds us we are not separate islands. We are all swimming in the same great ocean of consciousness. Every conscious breath you take is a quiet offering of peace to the collective field. But this is not another thing to do or to manage. It happens on its own when you focus on tending to your own inner garden. The field responds to authenticity, not to performance. When you breathe from a genuine place of inner peace, that authenticity radiates without any effort at all. This is why the ancient teachings speak of an awakened person serving the world simply by their way of being. They knew that consciousness is contagious, that peace is magnetic, and that one person breathing from their true center can help a whole room remember the peace within themselves. You have journeyed far, not across distances, but through the inner landscapes of your own being, through rhythm, through silence, through observation. The wisest souls throughout history understood a truth: you were never taught. Immense power is accessed not through effort, but through profound stillness. And in that journey, you have discovered something our world works hard to make us forget, that the most powerful act is often an act of non-doing. Our culture tells us to push harder, strive more, to fill every moment with action. But the field of life, the creative intelligence of the universe, responds to a different law. The field does not respond to how hard you push. It responds to how deeply you are aligned. It does not care for your frantic to-do list. It feels your state of being, the coherence of your inner song. And the most coherent state of all is one of stillness. Not the empty stillness of defeat, but the dynamic stillness of a great mountain. Consider a mountain. It appears perfectly still, yet it holds immense power. It does not fight the storm. It allows the storm to pass over it. It does not chase the sun. It simply receives its light. The seasons change upon it, but it remains rooted in its own unshakable presence. This is the stillness that can gently move worlds. When you learn to breathe into this mountain, like stillness within yourself, something profound begins to shift. Life begins to arrange itself around you, instead of feeling like a force you must battle against. Opportunities you could not have forced begin to arrive, as if carried on a gentle current. People who can help appear at the right moment. Solutions emerge from a quiet mind. This is not magic. It is the nature of resonance. When you abide in a state of stillness, you are no longer sending out the scattered signals of need, of struggle, of control. Instead, you radiate the clear, single note of trust and alignment. The universe responds to this clarity by bringing forth circumstances that match your inner state. Think of the eye of a great storm. All around it, winds rage with immense force. But at the very center, there is perfect calm. From this center of stillness, the entire storm is organized. You can cultivate this center within yourself. Not the stillness of one who has surrendered to defeat, but the stillness of one who has become the organizing center of their own life. Here, the difference between control and alignment becomes as clear as the sky after a storm. Control is forcing the outer world to match your will. Alignment is allowing your inner coherence to magnetize a harmonious outer world. Control is exhausting, for it is a fight against the great river of life. Alignment is effortless, for you have become one with its flow. When you breathe with presence, when you rest in the silent gateway, when you inhabit your inner temple, you are not trying to make things happen. You are allowing them to happen through you. You become a clear channel for life's intelligence to express itself. This does not lead to passivity. True stillness is vibrantly alive, acutely aware. It is the stillness of a master archer just before the arrow is released. Utterly focused, perfectly present, completely ready. From this place, your actions become both effortless and precisely effective, because they arise from alignment, not from strain. Now, as you return from this inner journey, take this rhythm with you. You do not return as the person who began this journey. You return to who you have always been, beneath the noise. The breath brought you home, and here, it reveals the final truth. Stillness is not the absence of power. Stillness is the heart of power. You have traveled the sacred path of the breath, discovering that your 20,000 daily breaths are not functions, but invitations to create. You have awakened the silent watcher within, the vast sky that holds all the weather of your mind. In the sacred pause between breaths, you found the gateway where intent plants its seeds in the field of reality. By tending to your inner temple, you have learned that your body is a living sanctuary, a landscape that holds your story, and the key to your unfolding. You have felt how your breath creates a resonant field around you, making you a silent offering of peace or chaos to all you meet. And finally, you have touched the deep wisdom that the greatest strength is found not in pushing the river, but in the profound stillness that allows life to flow to and through you. There will be times the world pulls you back into the current, when the clouds of emotion obscure the sky, when the river of thought runs fast and furious. In these moments, remember, the shortest path home is a single breath. 3 conscious breaths can return you to the silent watcher. 1 sacred pause can reconnect you to the creative field. A single moment of stillness can restore you to your center. This path is not about perfection. It is about returning. Again and again. Each time you remember to breathe with awareness, you are not just improving a moment. You are reshaping your life from its very source. You are becoming a living reminder that our state of being, not our circumstance, is the true creative power. Now, take this rhythm into your life. Let your breath be your anchor. Let stillness be your strength. Let your own quiet awareness walk with you in every choice, every word, every sacred pause. So, breathe, not simply to survive, but to remember who you are. Not to escape your life, but to fully inhabit it. Not to control the world, but to create with it. The breath is the rhythm. You are the dance. Begin.